Oh my gosh, it's Jim!
Welcome to episode 25 of Lawfully Chaotic. We have a guest tonight. There are 4 people here. Epic Jim, thank you for joining us from the Fungin.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, we are super excited. Thank you for being on, all the way from Canada. I know it's you've got to pay long.
Canada? Did you really just say Canada?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sharon. I'm sorry. So sorry.
Welcome.
That's what he gets for doing that. Yeah.
As I die on camera. No,
hey, that'll sell some hats,
right? Tonight we're going to be talking about setting the scene and ambiance for mostly in person, but I suppose it could apply to remote also. Before we start, anybody have an announcement? Sharon, got any announcements?
No announcements to speak of today.
Other than the fact that Sharon's mastered the English language as opposed to Brian.
Go to the announcements tonight.
The drink already hit him.
Oh, I know, right?
Jason, you got the announcements?
Yeah, a couple things. I've started my new Blast from the Past series on my podcast. Where we're going to talk about the origins of the game related to the 1973 publication of Volume 1, 2, and 3 of some very cringy, obviously male-centric, cultured writing for people that think that giant men in trolls of a basement only exist.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. But actually, I'm doing more of a historical lens as opposed to the social lens. I think the social lens has already been played out. I'm breaking it down at a historical kind of academic level of, the words, the metrics, and the analytics that they were using, and during their time, the balance of the play style and everything they were using. So it's
awesome.
an interesting visit in the past.
Cool. When can we catch that, or where can we?
It's over on Anchor, Google, Spotify, and a couple other locations. Cool. If you go and check out actually, let me put that up there.
Throw some links in the chat.
Yeah, let me put up my socials, because if you go check out my socials, you can find me wherever you need to find me. Cool. Usually passed out drunk underneath the table, or running 11 games weekly is my current schedule.
Which basically those are one and the same.
Drunk under a table and running. Yeah, pretty much. Games. I mean, dead on.
Jim, got any announcements?
I got a art book / saying guide coming out at probably the end of this year. I'm collaborating with a bunch of people, so
nice.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's looking awesome. I don't have any sneak peeks yet that I can share, but it's.
I was going to say, send me a sneak peek. I'll give it my graphic.
I might be able to send you one.
Okay, cool. I'll sign an NDA.
Isn't the normal barter system a shirt? When you send that, Jim, you send him that, and then he sends you a shirt. I believe is how that works.
I think I already did. You got it on, don't you? That's extra points. I'll send you another one. Take a picture. I want the picture on the back of the cover of the book to be you with the RPG on your horn.
Sorry, Cher. I did promise. I'm going to put them away now.
Oh boy.
your puppy.
They're gone.
You don't want to hear ASMR of Jason crunching.
Yeah, eating vegetable sticks. Oh, look, it looks like I'm eating your logo, Brian.
That's called animation.
Yes, it is.
Or severe lack thereof. Okay, let's jump in. Sharon, why don't you get us started on our topic tonight?
Oh, before you start, Sharon, really quick, Brian, I just thought of something for StreamYard. I'm actually going to send it into their recommendation ticket. It'd be really nice if we could move like our labels to identify our cameras up or down? That would be pretty cool because it would solve the problem of you having to redo the layout. And it would just be a matter of us dragging our labels up into the upper left-hand corner.
We'll pop this.
So while Sharon's doing our intro, I'm going to finish writing that to StreamYard because I think that would be very helpful. Sorry, Sharon.
As long as you're not, distracted.
No. That's a good example of my OCD. So
we'll pop the. No, actually, that would be a fantastic idea. I'll pop the banner. I'll pop the banner on or off. All right, I'm getting the playing off music from Sharon.
All right, guys. So welcome to another episode of RPG&Co's Lawfully Chaotic with our special guest, Epic Jim here. Yes, we got him finally. So today's topic is setting the scene. As you can see from Epic Jim's background as well as Jason's, they're all about atmosphere and ambiance. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So first off, we are going to be talking about how to set the tone for your campaigns, more specifically in person, but we can also delve into some online campaigns as well. So to start off, how do you guys set the feeling or emotion or the atmosphere in your campaigns? I'd like to start off with Jim. How do you start off with your atmospheres, and how do you get the feeling for like your games for your players?
Music's huge for me. Like I always have to have music playing in the background, right? I like using scented candles. There's like a million D&D kind of candles
that
now.
is a really good freaking idea. I hadn't thought about that. That is genius.
I used to play with candles when I was a kid. I would always have the candle holder and stuff, but I've never thought of scented candles. That's really interesting.
Yeah, actually, there's a D&D's themed candle company called Cantrip Candles. I actually have.
I knew she had a secret. I knew she had a secret promoter. I knew it. She's making millions. That studio is a fake studio. It's actually a 2,000 million square foot mansion that she rules over completely.
Jason, don't spill the secrets. Gosh.
What scent is that?
So this is for the Autumn Festival scent. They have really cool scents. There's even like a Summer Plains theme that's out right now. And they have actually really cool maps on top of their candles, which I think is really cool. But
that's cool.
All their scents are really cool.
I was hoping you were going to say that it was like bugbear butt, something like that, or fairy wings or something.
Is that a Cameron Diaz scent?
Yeah, actually, there's scents where like it's dungeon depths, or you're at a tavern and it smells like smoke and cigarettes and like leather. It's very so cool. Great.
That is a cool idea. And Cher, when those burn down, is there a D20 in all of them, or is it a random dice?
Actually, for these series, I have like a whole bunch of them. Yeah. So
is there a D20 in those?
Yeah.
I swear to you guys, I swear to God, on my list of things to do, creative ideas to do for RPG and Company, I have on there D20s at the bottom of a candle.
Yeah. They come with the metal D20s. This is actually my first D20
because they don't burn.
Yeah,
the metal ones don't burn.
Yeah, but you could also have just a regular candle. But there's also the series with the D20s. Cool. Yeah, what company do you use, Epic, for your?
Viled.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to check out their stuff too.
And I will post links for Sharon's, and I'll post link for Jim's as well. So send those to me, and I'll put them up in the chat and the socials. Because what's funny is we think about all the different auditory, sensory, and like visual methods that we try to kind of incorporate into the idea of immersion of the table. I love that one. Vince is insane. So he actually believes that, by the way. He really believes that.
Or a D20 at the bottom of a beer. I mean, we can take this.
I was thinking about I was thinking about like incense maybe as a possible option. Put an incense out. But back to your original point, Jim, the one thing I loved about including music, sometimes the vibe of the table can stall. And if there's no background noise to kind of help that stall happen and move on naturally, 5 people are staring at each other in silence and it gets fucking weird. It gets a
Yeah.
little weird. And I find that music really helps the players get that 2 minutes they need to collect their thoughts, to maybe start a role play session with somebody at the table. So that's what got you involved in the idea of music? What helped you find music?
Just like watching streams that do it too, and I thought that's such an awesome idea. Like I never heard of that before, but I use like just random like Spotify like D&D kind of lists or whatever for normally, and then if it's a battle, I'll put on like Iron Maiden, Metallica, Black Sabbath, like.
Yes, that's the way to do it.
Run for
Okay, well, so
the
this begs the question. This begs the question, Sharon. I think you know where I'm going with this, so I'll let you present the question.
What's the question that you were going to ask, Brian?
Hey, Sharon.
Okay,
Sharon, roll for insight.
One song. What's the one song that is everybody's go-to?
Everyone's go-to.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Start the ball. Roll the dice. Yeah.
Oh, Led Zeppelin. You do realize that Sharon is a lot younger than you, Brian.
I don't. That's fine.
That doesn't mean I don't listen to Led Zeppelin. Come on, guys.
Well, that's not actually my point about you, Sharon. It's more of a Brian point, but very cool.
Got to be immigrant song. For me.
So Vince, at the beginning of our Debtor's Gambit campaign
Believe
sessions,
my shit.
he would play Cher every time, and it would be we'd roll into the chat and we'd roll in to play the game, and he's got Cher playing in the background. Believe,
I fucking love that. That's hilarious.
he's not lying.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I think mine is immigrant song, as evidenced in its usage in Thor Ragnarok. That scene was fucking.
Mm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So cool.
Okay, somebody else.
Well, all right. I'll send you the link. But basically, like I was thinking for like music in general in D&D, it's like the ambiance for like the campaign or just the scene in general. And you want to have like your players like I guess feel engaged in what's going on. And the one that I'm about to send you guys, I think is like a perfect example of it. Hopefully you guys agree too. All right.
Yeah, that immigrant song for me is obviously for like for a combat. Okay, here we go. Oops, hold on.
Was she sending us? I knew it. She is sending us a virus that's going to corrupt our computers.
Exactly.
You play a Verizon commercial?
You play a Verizon commercial? That's
odd.
amazing.
I mean, you gotta put an ad somewhere.
Oh yeah. Welcome to the arena. I like that one. I know that one. It's a good one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Very
it's
nice.
a good one.
Yeah, for general ambiance, I usually throw on like Conan soundtrack or Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I mean all the usual stuff. Although I have used before, depending on the campaign, like kind of Cthulhu-esque chant music, like really. All right, somebody else.
Feels like you missed your chance to Rick.
Oh shit, that's right.
I know.
Fatal plays in our Sunday campaign, and hopefully Keen will pop on because she plays in our Sunday campaign as well. She has a lot of good insights because
that would have, Rick asked, that would have made the show. Actually, we would have just mic dropped right there. God, I wish I would have thought of that.
So true.
All right, Jim,
true.
what's your track? What's your song?
I'd say the track probably "Fear of the Dark," Iron Maiden.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
so
a good
do your
one.
players like sing along when they're in trouble? Like, like fear the oh no.
Yeah.
See, this is how you know Sharon's a proper nerd. Not only does she know it, but she's already thinking about how to use it.
They're just like torn, like, I love this song, but I'm terrified now.
So I've got to look up this is horrible for me to have to say it, but one of my favorite Swedish rock groups is usually who has my go-to.
Dancing Queen. Did you see
No.
that scene in Ragnarok recut the Dancing Queen? It worked just as well. It was
my
mind
Oh
blowing.
wow.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube. It's the same scene that they did Immigrant Song with Thor flying in, and it's to Dancing Queen. And
Oh, cool.
they could have used that song, and you would have been like, "Oh, that works perfectly."
So like, do you guys have like different music themes for like different tones, like for humor, for like dark themes, or action, or maybe just even like nasty, grotesque scenes in your campaigns?
Yeah.
Like, you guys have like a set list for everything?
Yeah, I try to organize it based on the situation. I don't really want to spend a lot of time managing it because it can get distracting.
Yeah.
So like I have dark, then I have just kind of adventure, battle, and city and weather. I always have like a go-to, just to kind of like blend in the background, bring a little immersion to the front of it, have, just give that little bit of edge to it.
So I don't know if you guys are aware. I used to use this. It is just hundreds and thousands of looping background, and it's not necessarily. I mean, there is music, but it's like traveling or battle music, or there's tavern sounds, ambiance.
That's so cool.
I'm gonna write that down.
The really cool thing. It's called ambient mixer. The really cool thing is you can actually take
There's
out,
a mixer.
Yeah, so you could like take out the cutlery. You could pop,
Oh,
pick
cool.
out the fireplace, and
That's
it is
awesome.
so there's like there's a dungeon, and they break it down. There's a dripping water. There's a wailing wind, and it's just, I mean, it's pretty fucking amazing actually. And I honestly forgot why I stopped using it. I think it was when I was still fiddling around with figuring out how best to do Zoom and whatnot. I haven't even tried it through StreamYard. I may look back into it, but kind of pursuing to your question, Sharon. Like I generally do not a mood like humor or dark. I generally do the setting. So I do like mainly when you're traveling, when you're in a city or an inn, and when you're in combat. Because like Jason, I find I get very distracted trying to manage the music.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just find something that will play for like 2 hours where I don't even have to worry about it. But you can set up a dashboard on this site and have your favorite tracks and call them up really quickly. I'll put the link in the chat here.
Yeah, and for music, like I think it brings like a lot of emphasis into what's happening in the story, and I think it's such an important thing to have in a campaign, as well as candles. Like, I think it's important to have like all the different senses engaged. Man, having a sense is just another thing to have on the table. And then like, I think I even heard some DMs even use like, they actually bring rocks to the table, or dirt or sand. And I think that's so cool.
Oh wow.
For the tactile, for people that might be more tactile, because that's a good point, Cher, because if you're at the table, right, and let's say the DM is using sampling of tactileness, maybe you've got some folks that are maybe suffering from a condition where, whether it's autism or ADHD or ADD, and maybe they're having some problems with the immersion. If you can smell a musky smell, and then like you hear the sounds of like an underground dungeon, and then the whole time you've got a handful of gravel in your hand, you're like, you're that's a good point. You're experiencing that kind of like immersion feel that you're trying to get to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm gonna take that one level further. I'm gonna take that one level further, and like somebody takes acid damage, I'm gonna say, could you please place your hand in this bowl?
You know what? Leave it to Brian to come up with that nonsense.
I know. He's such a dick.
Cast fireball. All right, put your hand over the flame.
Put your hand in the fireplace.
So on the setting tone aspect, Jim, when to that point, do you ever get like challenged players? Like how, like sometimes we can be spoiled, when we're running games, right? And we have these great players. Like Sharon's an amazing player. Her focus on detail, the immersion. She plays very well into it, even to the point when I'm narrating a situation that she's in. She does such a good job of really feeling the immersion effect of it and the ambiance effect of it. But we all have that one player. We all have that one player. And when you recognize that one player, what are some of the tricks you use for that to solve that immersion problem?
Trying to think. Like most of those problem players for me are just murder hobos. So I just gotta throw combat at them. It's just this guy's here. I'm big on I have to use minis for combat. I find people it makes them more immersed when they can actually see where everybody is and kind of what the terrain looks like and what the boss looks like. I find that's pretty big for that. So
very
That's
cool.
awesome.
Brian? Sorry, go ahead, Cher.
I'm sorry. And what do you use for like your setting for your terrain for your minis?
Just like foam terrain that I made or bought, or I got a TV in the middle of my table.
Really?
Which I can put like maps on that.
Oh, that's cool.
Great trick. I love that trick.
All right.
Yeah, my wife built it actually. She built this table.
For when I used to do traveling games pre-COVID, that's how I brought my maps with me. I would have a place that I was going to. We just leave a TV there, and then I bought a whole bunch of VTT maps. So that way, it was a lot easier to do that because sometimes you do a terrain collection. You're like, okay, now I got to buy a new bookcase because I'm out of room.
Yeah. I'm
store
definitely
that
coming.
terrain.
I'm definitely coming to Canada to play in your,
Awesome.
in your room. Oh, okay. So I gotta bring it up. Can we talk about your room?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we're on the immersive topic, so
Fungin.
yeah, talk about the room. Fungin.
I mean, I've seen pictures. Hang on, I'm gonna.
Do you
Okay,
ever
so-
use the beholder in your campaigns too? The one that's behind you? Here
No,
he
but
comes.
it's behind the DM all the time, right? Oh yeah, there's the TV on the table there.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Jesus, that's just unreal, unbelievable. I'm so freaking jealous. I'm gonna try to find some more images of the Fungin here.
Well, I've got that ogre, by the way.
I think that was the best one. But well, here's a good one.
Well, I like that one. It's got the full scatter terrain setup. That's
I
nice.
mean-
I robbed some people for that stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot of scatter terrain. So
No,
yeah,
that I got all that from our town buy and sell page for like nothing.
I mean,
really.
there's a good view of
Obviously,
the room.
yeah.
I mean, no words.
I mean,
Yeah, that makes
actually, and what's interesting, as long as we're on this, I like the way you blended all the bookcases together as like solid fixtures.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
I did that a little bit, but I have breaks in it because I do a lot of studio and podcast recording. I'm more geared for like live Twitch and other presentations, so I don't know the acoustic challenges of having solid, like bookcases and stuff like that. But I've got a member of one of my campaigns. He really wants to do a Studio 2.0, and your Studio 1.0 is exactly where I want to get to. That fighting arena. Are you kidding me right now?
Look at Sharon's face. Look at her face.
Amazing. That's
Right?
amazing.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You see
That's not even finished there.
Have you seen this before,
No.
Sharon?
No, I'm my brain's melting. I'm sorry.
See? I fucking told you.
So as long as we're showing off the terrain stuff, Jim, do you find it challenging that your players are expecting that all the time?
Mm.
No, I got a pretty good collection. It's funny now, all the DMs that I play with, most of them are pretty cheap and they always play in the Fungin because they're like, the one DM will be like, oh, I need 5 displacer beasts and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I only have 4. He's like, what do you mean you only have 4? Like I don't know.
I'd be like, get the fuck out.
But you don't set up like terrain every session, do you?
No.
Okay.
No,
How
I
frequently-
like theater of the mind,
But how frequently are you setting that up? And I'm jealous because I do this from time to time too. Like on Thursdays are typically my creative days. I'll take a whole bunch of my terrain and put it on the table and play with it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you never get to do that, and I'll put it all out and take pictures of it and suddenly inspire myself with ideas. Just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna build this dungeon room and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. I'm just like, but I miss that physical dynamic of us getting together at the table. I only have one game right now that's running at the table, and I'm just like, oh, I want more of that, and I miss it. I enjoy online. Has offered me a lot of opportunities. Are you doing anything online? And if you are you incorporating your stuff anyway in the online environment?
I am playing online, but I'm not the DM for the ones. But my DMs do use cameras and train and stuff, so it's real cool.
Very
But yeah,
cool.
for like my sessions in game or in person, I mean, it's usually I'll set up like a town setup at the beginning to just kind of set the mood, and then like a big boss battle at the end. Then other than that, it's just kind of on the fly, just drawing a map.
What's your best, and then we'll move on to the way you talk, because I really want to hear Brian and Jim talk about the voices that they're using, because I do a lot of voices. I'm not that great at it, but with that in mind, what was your favorite like big boss moment, like your favorite terrain moment that you had when playing with your teams or with your players?
Like as a DM?
Yeah, as a DM, not as a player, but as a DM. Like, have you ever had that situation as a DM where you make this amazing tabletop, 4 hours goes by, and you're like, where did those 4 hours go? Like, everyone is so drawn in to what's been built and what's been playing out. What was your favorite moment, do you think, that you could think of?
One that really... Go ahead.
I love that you like immediately look towards your shelf and just pick out like for the wall of memories, you know?
I noticed that too. I was like, "Motherfucker." He's looking at his like 85 million pieces of scatterbrain. The best I have is like the 4D bridge.
Let me just ask you just a quick side note. If I need a halfling illusionist, how long will it take you to go find one?
Not long. I know where they are.
Yeah.
I got OCD. It's pretty.
I don't have a halfling illusionist, but I got a dwarf with a big beard.
Nice, that works.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, for my end of my Curse of Strahd campaign, I kind of did a weird thing where Strahd was killed when they got there by Sir John Wick.
Oh,
he was there, and I just replaced I just made a totally homebrew. He could like run on the ceiling, and he had 2 crossbow guns, and it was all crazy.
Did he have cool one-lines?
Oh yeah. And then through the whole session, I was dropping like Keanu Reeves movie stuff. Like there was like a bus outside the tavern that was like couldn't stop, and then there was like a red and blue pills that they found.
I am a big guard agent.
Well, and Sharon, Jim brings up a good point. The way you talk, right? The things that you drop, the things that you say, you're talking about flavored language, body language, using your voices to distinguish characters. Jim, what are some of the points that you've done that?
I'm pretty shit at voices, but I'll just try to do body movements, if he's sad, kind of slope my shoulders, or he's, sicken up, or if he's drunk, I keep swerving around while I'm talking. Or
I love that. That's awesome. Sharon, let's hear your best English Mira. What was you had a voice that you used one time for us that me and Brian fell in love with. It was like an English kind of like hippie druid kind of accent. Remember that?
Yeah.
And see, she's like, damn it, the one good thing I did.
I wanted you guys to forget that.
Spotlight's on you, Sharon.
Hello, my name's Pim.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. I love
that.
it when Sharon does that voice. I'm hoping the next campaign I run and she's in, I want her to do that voice because I love that voice. And like when Brian, do your dwarf. I love your dwarf.
All right. If you brought this up, so I'm going to run through some of my best because for me, that's probably my number one tool to set the scene is doing the voices for NPCs. So
well, and to a point before you do yours, it's like Sharon's experimenting with it and finding her comfort level. Jim, like me, I'm not the greatest voice, enumerator by any stretch of the imagination, but I like how you kind of like glommed on to the body movement, the physical kind of inflections that you can do to kind of help the players get into it. And then we have Brian's dwarf. I kind of want to like just the different styles to me is the amazing part of that. But go ahead, Brian, do your dwarf.
There are definitely tropes, like every dwarf is a Scottish bastard with a bad attitude. I mean, it's just natural. So it just comes right to
Boy, every god in every city. I mean, we just got this weird English accent, We just stand around with a spear.
Now my town's guard,
we all sound like English bastards,
Right, so my fallback, everybody goes to the English accent for, town's got, oi, what are you doing there? Come on, I've got to take you into the dungeon.
Empty out your pockets. Your pockets, not your bag of holding. Your fucking pockets.
I find also that I will do certain accents to kind of set the tone a little. I had these three dwarves that people kept running into in the city. Like one was the gatesman, one was the innkeeper, one was here, and they were brothers. And they all sounded exactly alike.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they were all Australian, right? And they were like totally cheery and like, oh yeah, I could put you up for the night. It'll cost you $1, no problem. We'll take your horses and everything. And then there was one that I wanted to inject a little, also a little bit of humor. And so he was, he was the burgomaster of a small town, yeah, and everybody came in, and he was like, well, we don't need your help. We stop nosing around. You're not supposed to be here, and we can deal with our own problems. So please, you're welcome to stay the night. But after that,
you're blocking my driveway. Move on, get off my grass.
So that's always been a thing for me. Is accents. I mean, I can do a shit ton of accents, and I love doing them. So that's my
Vince
that's
wants
my
to hear
big
your
tool.
best Asian accent.
Oh no, guys.
Okay,
No.
since Vince asked,
No.
I
Scots are
will do
okay
it.
with this.
So
I'm not sure.
everybody needs to know. Vince asked me.
I'm
to do
gonna
an Asian
pull
accent.
me and Sharon out of this one.
So do you?
Sharon, that was a safety check.
Here's where
That
we
was just a
pissed
safety
off
check.
Everybody. Now, do you want a Japanese or do you want a Chinese?
Oh no. No.
Because Japanese very, very different. It's a chop like this, and I'm not making fun, okay?
That is your worst fucking voice ever.
Well,
It
some of
sounds
them
like
are
a
very-
Scot. Like
some of them are very cartoonish, okay? They're not as real. So I want to put that caveat out there. Vietnamese, maybe this could be Vietnamese. I don't know. And again, I want to say that I love other cultures, and I don't do this to make fun of anyone. So please,
and what's so
this is
funny
not meant
because
to be.
what's so funny is because I got a question for
Those are
Sharon,
two of my more shitty ones.
but I got a question for Sharon when it comes down to voices. Have you ever felt comfortable enough yet to kind of like your Pim voice is amazing. I love that voice, and I'm really hoping the next campaign you play, you roll with that. Are you beginning to feel a little bit more comfortable with maybe the voice in the role play aspect now that you've been in a game for almost a year?
I'm offended for you.
Yeah, and Jim's going to have every fucking reason to be. I'll tell you what, just so that we're fair and we're making fun of everybody, I'll do that.
That's
my
fair.
old Jewish guy, I had a guy who was a
no.
little heckling, and he was a tailor, and he was a Jewish, like, can I make you a suit? I don't know.
Well, but wait, I want to move on.
Guys, I did not encourage this.
Yeah, I want to move on to that voice because that actually brings up a really interesting point related to what Matthew's been doing lately with some of his voice experimentation that he's been doing. But Sharon, as a player, like you're surrounded by 3 DMs. I mean, I rarely get to play. I know Brian plays occasionally in my game, one of my games, and I don't know how often Epic gets to play. But when do you feel like it's comfortable to start experimenting with voices as a player? Like, when do you think that happens for a player, especially a newer player?
I guess when you start to feel comfortable with your group, honestly, and also just having some private practice sessions in the bathroom helps a lot too. I mean,
I 100% understand what she's saying. I get that. I really
Hello,
do.
Governor. Hello, Governor.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that point, Sharon, when I'm driving alone in the car, I got no kids, and Callista's not there. I'm like, okay, back to my grog voice, right? I'm gonna. So when I'm practicing my grog voice driving home, I'm just using that simple kind of voice. And You're right. That's a great way to experiment with the idea of the voices
all the fucking time.
Oh yeah. I find that
Go ahead, Epic. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say another good thing I like to do for voices is like think about people that you used to know that had weird little things that they would do, right? Like there's this one guy he was always at parties when we were in high school, and he'd always go, "Believe it or not." So like I've used that guy a few times. He'd always brush his hair because he had long hair. It'd be
A lot of my
stuff.
furbogs will do that. All my furbogs are hippies. All my furbogs are burnout, doped up hippies. Absolutely agree with that.
Oh, I also had an Irish bard with bad fucking attitude one time. He was a lot of fun to play because he fucking pissed everyone off me.
Like, I'm just saying, if you buy the dagger before you buy the sword, you're probably not going to do as well when you go up against the bad guys in the
Sharon's working on her
man.
resignation letter.
I mean,
What do I say?
Jason brought this shit up. I didn't.
but more
I will say,
importantly,
in all seriousness, I
Go
will
ahead.
say, I use the voices specifically for NPCs because I find that
and what's the acronym for NPC, Brian?
narrative player characters.
Yes.
Part of the story. I find that is a way, not only for my players, but for myself, to identify with that character as a persona and not just, here's a stand-in guy, that you run into. And what I've started doing over the past number of months is, even though there are planned NPCs that are integral to the story, and then there's like you go into a magic shop and there's old gnomish woman, can I help you, lads? And what I found is I've been writing down these personas, the name and the accent and the demeanor.
Good idea.
It's funny because they become, it's like it's like Pumat.
Pumat Soul.
Or what's his name?
Gilmore.
Yeah. They really become. I think NPCs are an integral part of the storytelling, and that is how the characters, not the players necessarily, but that's how the characters.
Well, and Sharon, what has been one of your favorite NPCs so far? Because you've had a lot of interesting ones kind of pop up in your campaign.
Yes, 100%. Improv ones also are ones that are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the thing is too, to go back to like the voices and creating characters for your stories, like I noticed that like when you create characters, you're creating it to fit that like setting for the story. So like for Mira, she's like a very calm and kind of like a diplomatic, friendly person, and for this campaign, for the graying lens, it fits for her. And like for Pim, it was for a lighthearted one shot that's in the Feywild. And I also I had another character whose name was Kiros Cabernet, and she was
wait.
Whoa, voice now. I demand it. I want to hear it.
What was the name?
Hello. Hold on. Kiros Cabernet.
I love it.
Oh my God,
that's awesome.
That is amazing.
Yep. I have to work on it, but she's like a darker character, so I would think she'd be perfect for like Strahd or like I don't know, other dark D&D campaigns. Holla chat.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, catchphrases for sure.
Yeah.
I find with NPCs too, I got these like cards here. I find like if you just have like a picture of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
lots
wow.
of like
those
businesses
are awesome. Where did you get those?
That's so cool.
These are 1985 games.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It just has like
I've got a box of that.
Yeah, goblin picture.
There's a picture.
Well, and then on the back it's like personality, quirk, flaw.
What?
Oh, okay. So it's just a very succinct. I love that. I'm gonna
so
pick up that card and it's good to go. It's like, I mean, eventually we need to do like we'll get together again and we'll talk about adaptation, right? We'll talk about the challenges of adaptation, because that really, I think, sets the scope for a subject matter that we can go after in one of our future sessions or episodes. But the thing I love about that epic, sometimes you're so busy managing a game, sometimes you just need that little bit of cheating for yourself to really help you keep from getting distracted and meander and wandering away from something. You're like, if you have a stack of random NPC cards, you're like, oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, let's go with this one. And sometimes that could be fun for the DM. It's like, oh wow, I've never really, how do I do a lizard folk who's selling gelatinous cubes as Jello shots? Okay, I can do this.
Sharon, do you find that for your character specifically, Mira, do you find through experimenting with that accent that helps you develop the character's persona?
Yeah, because she's a very calm person and very soft-spoken, so it fits with her personality. Like, I don't think she would ever really raise her voice unless it's needed. But like, that's part of having a character in a setting and being involved with what's going on in the story. I know that some people can get caught up in like wanting to create an accent and do a lot of things, but even just like having those cards epic, like I don't think that's cheating. I think that's being very efficient with what you got. I mean, you have a tool set, use it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I've also tried to emulate Matt Mercer a little bit in describing some of the stuff that we've talked about. Like when you enter a town, not just what you see, but how does the air feel? What's the temperature?
The smell and the
smell.
Yeah.
You smell bread baking, wafting from the chimneys, all that type of stuff. But I agree, Sharon, the more tools that you have to support that, the better. What do you got? Do you guys use, what about table props? Like I've used.
I mean, it's been 2 years of COVID. I'd love to use table props.
Yeah, but like wax sealed letters to hand out a magic item or something, or the candles, or I have a wonderful. I wish I had. Well, it's on my feed, but I have a wonderful DM screen from Dogmite, 4-panel wooden custom designed DM screen that my wife bought me for my 50th birthday, which is
so one of my players built me this.
Yeah.
Built me a really cool DM screen that I use one day a week. It's like I really want to start using props more, like gold coins. Yeah. Like if I had Sharon at my table, if I had Sharon at my table, I'd love to hand her a small leather bag filled with gems and say, "This is what you find."
You're never gonna get those back.
Well,
there's that too, but
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like just tactile or healing potions. Actually, the healing potions. I don't know about you guys. My players never fucking remember how many healing potions they have, or who has them, or what kind they are.
That is a completely different episode.
Or how they work.
That is a completely different episode.
Jim, to this day, I still have to look up the fucking chart for healing potions.
You're like 2d4 plus 2 or 4?
Yeah, I still gotta look up the goddamn things. But to be able to hand out a little inspiration token.
Yeah, I really like that idea that Paradox brought up. That makes sense. Yeah.
So that they know what they have. I mean, here's the screen.
I got a DM that 3D prints like magic items, like daggers and stuff, and they paints them up all sweet looking.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a big Kickstarter that like had a whole shitload of them on there. You can just 3D print them.
Well, Callista, my girlfriend, my partner in crime, she has like a big box full of coins, like silver coins, gold coins. And I'm like, I so want to use them. But once again, is it another thing I have to administer? It's like, what can I use from a prop perspective that can still be used without me having to be kind of like worried about the hang up of, I got to do this. I got to do this. I'm already doing this. I'm already doing that. Sometimes that can be, oh, she's bringing me in the bag. So here, right? So, reach in and, pull out your really cool coins, and use those as ways to kind of like, get people involved. But they're all Electrum pieces, so they're kind of worthless. But
my favorite
props to me are the one thing I really miss that I haven't challenged myself with.
My favorite that I started using is like parchment for magic items or for story hooks or whatever that the players discover is like printing it out. I design it, I print it out on parchment, and I actually do a wax seal and I hand it to them. And I think that
actually,
really
what's
cool.
interesting, right, is with my online games, I'm doing more handouts because it's easier for me to generate more digital content than it is physical content. Physical content takes a lot more time. Like if I, if I do a scroll of Fireball, I'd love to write it out and roll it up and put a wax seal on it and then hand it to Cher and say, here, Sharon, this is what you find. That would be really cool because that feels super immersive to me.
Check out Skeleton Key Games. There's he does really, really amazing artistic renditions of spell scrolls.
Oh, that's
fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, epic. Do you have any props that you use in that giant room of yours?
Of cool shit.
Oh yeah. I use the coins, and I always I try to wear hats, and I got orc teeth or like elf ears or whatever, right?
That's awesome.
Wait, you mean those horns aren't actually in your head?
So do you use that for like your different characters for those props?
Yeah, either as like NPC or if I'm if I'm a player, I always try to have something or like.
That's awesome.
Try to wear a little cape or whatever, right?
That's awesome. Well, cosplay, right? Cher, would you cosplay your character?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I think that's another great way of approaching it. Dress up like your character and have fun with it. I think that's a great idea.
And you don't have to go nuts, right? You can just put on elf ears if you're an elf, right? So then every time one of your friends looks at you, they're like, "Oh yeah, Jim's an elf because he's got those big ears."
Oh my God! So in our Saturday game, Grain Lands, Cher and Forget have these little crocheted bees, because where are my bees? So it's like. It's really funny because we'll be playing, right? And something's playing out. And then Barry Bot and Forget start laughing. And then they giggle and laugh and they giggle. And I love the fact that you can build a table where people feel comfortable enough that they're in a space that they can do that. And the whole table will appreciate it. And I think that's where all the immersion stuff really kicks in. The DM willing to do the voices or the hats, do the body inflection, the player willing to begin to experiment with that activity, or the DM recognizing that even modern voices have a role at a game. And I think all of those things combined really creates that kind of confidence at the table that as we all experiment at the same time, we're doing things that we used to feel uncomfortable doing. And then suddenly we're comfortable doing. And that's that level of confidence that D&D brings you or other types of games will bring you. It's like, you may be a natural introvert. You may be terrified of like speaking in front of a lot of people, but suddenly at a table of either strangers, friends, or family, you're experimenting with that confidence. You're bringing out that voice that you want to create. You've got your elf ears on in your cloak, or you've got that really cool druid staff, that you built yourself, and I guess the one thing I'm waiting for Jet to crochet for you, Cher, is what Erebus would look like. I kind of feel like Erebus should be like a crochet item so that whenever you're role playing Erebus and the two of you are talking, you could pull that out and like have it like next to you while you role play that out. I mean,
you could just be the bee. What do you think?
I absolutely love that. Let's go to dice because I know we have a lot of dice goblins out there. Cher, you're a dice goblin. I know you're a dice goblin.
I just
Jim. Oh, let's see. Let's go.
Actually, I better get up and show you guys something for this. Then.
Here it comes.
I didn't get all mine together because I have so many. I have a feeling Jim is going to put me to shame, but I have probably got somewhere in around. Oh, that's awesome!
Bubblegum machine of dice. You are officially the dice goblin king.
It's not all of them, but yeah, my mom just
got all of them.
No, this isn't all of them. This whole shelf is dice. The back one, but yeah, this is all my these are the dice that I don't use.
I think I counted. I have somewhere around 300 or 400 dice.
I have 20.
Which probably is not that
for
much.
our listeners. Epic just came out with a gumball machine that is filled with dice, and he has extra sets sitting behind him on a shelf as well.
That's freaking awesome.
So I'm not a dice goblin by any stretch of the imagination. I don't have the addiction. It doesn't really make much of a difference.
I
mean, literally.
However, Callista is a dice goblin, so she's gonna bring me over her dice so I can pretend I'm a dice goblin for like 2 minutes. So here is her big dice tag right there. Here is her gelatinous cube of dice.
Cool.
Oh, I love that.
Right there.
That's awesome.
This is her.
Oh my gosh, Callista.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now these dice, are these the ones I got you at?
Oh, the stone dice. Is that from You Are Wizards?
Okay.
These are labradorite.
Is that from You Are Wizards?
No, level up dice.
Level up. Okay.
Yeah. So these are more of the stone minerals. So these are made of stone.
They were a birthday gift.
Those were a birthday gift.
And then these are.
Oh, those are your mini metals.
Amethyst.
Oh, these are her actual amethyst dice. So they're actually made of amethyst stone. So now that I've lived vicariously through her dice goblinness,
My Elderwood.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I don't understand the addiction. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea where that addiction comes from.
Seriously, I may actually require your resignation letter.
So I live vicariously through her.
I have.
So Epic, you have a set too? Were you about to show a set off of your shelf? I saw you think over there.
This is my favorite dice. It's a alligator jawbone D20.
What?
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's really cool.
I had a player give me that, so and then he gave our DM a woolly mammoth D20.
Yeah,
what?
I've seen those.
Yeah. He also married his sister though, so he kind of had to. Yeah.
Did he also give you?
Like you had me there, Epic, for like 2 seconds.
Did he also give you like dolphin meat dice? So
okay. All right. Wait. Paradox has spoken.
That's a dice color. Yeah.
Epic is a maple dragon. I am going to roll I'm going to write up the stats for a maple dragon. And I will share that as I'm down. It is now canon.
I've got 4 or 5 sets of gemstone dice. I've got very expensive Petri plastic dice that I've got from people. I've got umpteen schmillion dice from Kraken and Chessex. The ones that I am waiting on with bated breath are these. They are
the pixel dice,
LED dice, and you can control. Like if you get a critical hit, the 20 flashes. You can have sound play. You can upload any sounds you want for any rolls. They are completely customizable, and I am anxiously awaiting these. These will be
on that note, Bri, Jim, have you experimented with the control over your lighting yet? Have you done anything with that?
I have dimmers in here. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
And then that's about it though.
Yeah.
So if you roll a 1, will it be like a Rickroll?
You can upload that and it will play that. Yeah. So you can have like if you roll a 20, if you roll a 1, wah, wah. I mean, they're completely customizable through a companion app. These things are so.
So to help everyone understand how far dice have come, I remember my first set of dice in the red box. It came with a crayon. So you had to take the crayon and fill in the number because otherwise you wouldn't be able to read the number.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. And it was so weird. And I never really understood why people used a crayon. I used liquid paper. So a long time ago, when typewriters were the only way that we could send messages to each other, this was right after pens and pencils. We would type
Sharon, what about
things
you?
out.
Dice.
Oh, she's a total dice goblin. Are you kidding me?
Well, okay. So I just ordered. Okay, hold on. I want to show it off really quick. I just ordered it, and it's a druid dice, and I think it's perfect for Mayra.
She's so excited she destroyed her internet.
Hold on. Ah! You guys keep talking. I'm gonna hunt for the dice.
All right.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where I don't like look for dice. Like
Dice
you only
look for
need
you?
so many. Well, you just get so many. Like you have your nice sets, and then after
Yes.
that, it's kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
the rest is just filler.
The closest I get to a dice set that I think is a collector set is my Rick and Morty Neon Green.
Oh yeah.
And I had bought the Rick and Morty set because I was like doing a review of it and like I ran a couple games with it. And I'm a Rick and Morty fan. I mean, you can't see all my Rick and Morty art because it's just, just me, but I just like the toxic green, the portal green. It looked cool and came with the set and seemed like a good thing.
I wish my current favorite set is a set. I did a branding refresh for a guy, Witch Doctor Dice, and he does awesome Petri sets, which is that it's a clear resin and then it like different ink colors drip down.
Ooh, cool.
It's really. I wish I had maybe it's on my feed, but it's currently my favorite set.
But I gotta ask you guys: is the dice lucky or the person?
It's for the dice.
Sharon, you got to pop in on that one because
here it is.
I don't know if there you go. Yeah. The Witch Doctor. That's the Witch Doctor one, right?
Yeah. Those are my favorites right now. Yeah. Even more so than the gem dice that I have.
I want to hear Sharon's point on that because I think as a player, I got to be brutal. As a player, dice means so much more than a DM. I that's my personal opinion, I guess, but like the passion in a lot of my players' faces and their voice, like when they roll really bad or roll really good.
Yeah.
Like I don't roll and go, oh fuck yeah, my monster just took off your fucking head. Like I don't do that, right?
I do.
Well, but you're weird. But like when Sharon rolls a natural 20, she go, yes, natural 20. She'll throw up her arms, she'll do the Sharon dance, and it like I don't know. It's like it's so different. It's
oh wow, those are awesome.
Oh, those yeah. Those are pretty. Those are pretty.
And she's actually from our Discord community, so I always order dice from her. She has some really great ones.
That's
my next chunky.
Those are awesome.
No, that's awesome.
And this is
let's put that in the chat too for people because there's a lot of good links tonight. We obviously know what we all like most about the game is
true.
But Sharon, when you get a natural 20, was that on you or is that the dice?
It's a good question. A really good question.
Or if you roll one, is that on the dice or on you?
If I roll once, I blame D&D Beyond. But if I roll a 20,
I fucking hate digital
20,
dice.
that's on me.
I hate them. Unless I've got like a 6-level fireball with 12 dice and it's just too much hassle. I hate digital dice.
I will say one thing. If you're a newer player and you're still getting used to the construct of your character sheet and the math is still challenging.
Absolutely. I'm talking
digital dice integrated into whatever character sheet you're using. Because I know there's different apps out there and different things that people are using for their dice / character experience. But I really love that question. Is it, are the dice lucky or is the player lucky? I mean, that's a really good question.
I do not have lucky or unlucky dice. I have found that I have lucky or unlucky nights. There are nights that I roll nothing but single-digit numbers, and there are nights that I can't tell you how many 20s I roll. So,
so it's the person for you.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think it's the person.
Yeah,
I think
so,
that's fair.
Yeah. Wormwood somebody makes a set of dice that balances out. It's got like 4 20s, 4 1s, and then it kind of squeezes into the middle. So that what it does is it facilitates more critical hits and misses, but it's still the same odds. I haven't used them, but it's an interesting idea.
You guys want to
What-
see my really cool D6s? I got really cool D6s for you.
What do you think, Epic? Do you think that you have some favorite dice that have won in your favor, or do you think it's all in the magic touch?
Player's lucky. It's easily, yeah.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Those are freaking awesome. You throw those at your players?
Roll for damage.
Yeah, exactly. You take 2 D6. Callista gave me those. I don't know where she found them. She's like, "Do you want these?" I'm like, "I'm not a dice goblin. Those are pretty freaking cool." So yeah,
you kind of sound like a dice goblin.
no.
You sound like a dice goblin wannabe.
Yeah.
You know what I say to that, Bri? Oh my God! Yeah, she found them at a yard sale. Is where she found them.
What?
So
Sharon,
they said the
what
original
what-
retail tags on them too. It's so funny.
Sharon, what else? You put together the notes for tonight. So what else? What else is on your list?
I think you put a blurb about tone, and I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah. Yeah, when so basically when you play your campaigns, like you have a certain tone that's already set. So like say for example when you're playing Curse of Strahd, it's pretty much what I would imagine kind of like a dreadful, dreary game. But then you have like those moments where it's kind of like lighthearted or it's sad, and to have like those momentary like blips of like different changes in tone. Do you think it offers more emphasis in the moment in the campaign? What are your guys' thoughts? Epic?
Epic.
Oh yeah, like using like music and stuff, or like what do you mean?
Like the tone
Oh.
of your voice or the tone of the scene, right?
Oh
I mean,
yeah. Oh, for sure.
Go ahead, Cher. Go ahead.
Well, no, to elaborate, like I said, for example, for a Curse of Strahd, it's very dark and vampiric and it's dreary. But then, like, you have like those moments in the campaign where, like, oh, they're at a bar and it's lighthearted, you know. And like, do you think having like those momentary like blips of like changes in tone, do you think it offers more emphasis and dynamic to the story or the campaign that you're playing for your group?
Oh yeah. And then it kind of takes them out of it for a moment. Then they kind of forget. Then you're like, it's storming outside. You hear some spooky banging on the window. They're like, oh yeah, like we're in Barovia. Like, what are we doing? We're sitting here getting drunk, having a good time. Like, no, this is serious.
Oh man.
I do want to I really quick share because I want to share a moment with you. In our recent episode, we had a major boss fight, and then we had a time skip, and we did this really cool role playing event. And there was a brief moment there where I was so into the relationship of Mira's mentor, and Mira's mentor recognizing just how badly she fucked up. Like just she had given up hope, and that lack of hope had led to such a detrimental situation with the people of the Kalishtar that there was a point there I was role playing her, and your reflection on that with that tone that we were sharing with each other, I was almost ready to cry. Like I had tears in my eyes because I was feeling the pain of the NPC. They had, you know, they weren't patient enough. They didn't wait for Mira to arrive. They didn't understand that Mira was going to be this great opportunity to allow the people to survive. So what this mentor thought she was doing was the best option, but because of her lack of patience and her lack of waiting for Mira's opportunity to change the tone. Like I felt like Mira was changing the tone. Yeah. And I was like experiencing the like emotion of failure. I was like, holy shit, this is like, I was kind of feeling that vibe of like, this person's genuinely upset at themselves and they're sad. And that, to me, that was a great transitional tone between what Mira was doing. And I loved how you got angry. Like I loved how Mira got angry. That was like such the perfect response to finding out what this mentor had been doing and going off to this major battle and solving this problem. You had Mira's angry tone of transition and this despondent tone of someone who felt, you know, they had failed. And those
Desperate.
two transitions, it was amazing. That was a good that was a good RP moment for me. I don't have a lot of them, but that was a good one. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, even like setting the tone between characters, especially with like the player and the DM, like even just within that moment, because you know, her act of desperation and Mayra's kind of like anger towards like, well, what do you mean you did this? Like it causes like that momentary lapse of like, oh, well, she's not actually kind and gentle. She's actually pretty stern at times. Just even for characters themselves in that setting can offer dynamic to the story.
Yeah, that's true, Torch. Very true. We have a lot of fun, like interesting moments. I mean, and it's so weird too, because we start off as like a group of strangers. So the tone itself being unfamiliar with each other as people, you know what I mean? Like that tone, like the physical, real tone of the players in the game, I find interesting because you could have a shitty day at work, right? And it could affect your tone. Ooh, is someone trying to break in? Someone trying to break into your house, Cher? You okay?
Well, actually,
Trolls at the gate.
I can't hold them back for long, guys.
They have a cave troll.
They have a cave troll.
I want to know, Jim, where did you get the beholder?
Amazon. I seen it in lots of. It's not on Amazon anymore.
Oh, I was like,
Very last one.
I seen them in game stores for a while, and I was building the Fungin, and I actually dreamt about it. And I woke up and I was like, I need one for the Fungin, obviously. And I looked, and there's one on Amazon, luckily.
oh my God, it's just the crown. Hey, I wanted to kind of along those lines. We got to take a look at this.
Oh,
man.
that's Joe's room, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah, that's like the our compliments Fungin.
Yeah, well, whenever I think of like the D&D room that I want to play in, honest to God, Joe Manganiello's is first because come on, yours is second. And knowing that I will never play in Joe Manganiello's room, I'm always like, I gotta go to Canada.
Yeah, I guess he'll just settle for yours, Epic.
I'll settle for yours.
So-
You know, with only your 4 displacer beasts.
To that point that you just brought up, Bri, and I want to thank Cher for teaching me how to actually pronounce his name because I've been doing it wrong for a very long time. Because I'm horrible with names. But what's your? And I'm going to start with Cher, and then we'll go counterclockwise. Sharon, what's your dream game room? Like, what's your dream game room to play in?
Do you mean an existing one or like if
No,
you
it
could
doesn't
go-
matter. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. Just
Okay.
if you had unlimited budget and you wanted to come up with a dream game room that a group of players can meet and play in, what would it look like to you?
Well, I mean, honestly, Epic's room is pretty freaking awesome. I just saw a row of giant dragons and like that giant tree in the back, and then like you have all that literature. Okay, because like honestly, I would totally have so many dragons in my room. And-
So you
I'll
think
have-
like a dragon game room would be like your main? Like,
Yes.
yeah.
There you go.
I want to have a dragon chomping my head, just like how he has a beholder chomping his.
That is a lot of dragons.
Okay, I'll have like prop swords. I'll have candles and I don't know. I mean, the
You
possibilities
just
are
exploded
endless.
Sharon's head, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So Epic, other than your perfect Fungin, if you had an unlimited kind of like budgetary approach to something you'd like to build, what would be your build? What would be your ultimate game room?
Well, plans for Fungin 2.0 because this isn't our forever home. So this is the trial run Fungin. Oh yeah, the end of the last home.
that's so cool.
My
Nice.
favorite. That's my
Yeah,
favorite piece.
Sean built that Arnord maze,
Really? That's my
Yeah.
favorite piece.
and
of that.
he just built one for Joe Manganiello because he saw mine and wanted one.
No shit.
What a
Yeah,
copy
that's
that.
awesome.
That's what I mean. It's his Fungin's kind of the ripoff one. So,
Oh, right?
but I think having like some windows where you could look out into some wilderness would be pretty nice. You could get trees in the background. And I always wanted like a kitchen and bar kind of thing. Be pretty cool in here.
Oh,
So I'm gonna skip me and go right to Bri, because I know Bri, we talk about this all the time. But what's your fantasy game room?
So I love Manganello's. I love the room itself, the vaulted arches and the brickwork. I think that's the perfect setting. You know, down some stairs so it feels kind of dungeon.
Yeah.
I would love a huge game table a la what you have with the TV screen in it. I would still probably mostly do terrain like you do, but use the screen for flowing water or maps that you have. Pursuant to your, windows looking outside, I would do TV screens
or you could change.
Where you can change, certainly colored lighting, and then just I don't think I would cosplay the room fully, meaning, making it actually look like it's in a castle or a dungeon. I would do that combined with just having all that swag that you have all over the fucking place.
So for me,
it'd kind of be a combination between Manganello's room and yours, to be quite honest.
My ultimate dream gaming room is the Green Dragon Inn and Tavern from The Hobbit, from Hobbiton. I mean, I want to build a traditional kind of landscape-driven tavern where you come in, you pull your tankard. Someone comes out and drops a tray of meat and cheese in front of you, and you play a game, and the whole thing is just old English, Hobbit-driven. The Green Dragon Inn. I mean, it's just to set the tone and to just kind of like, give you that vibe that you're in a space that's specifically designed to help you fall deeper into a story that felt a little bit more further away. That's my dream. My dream has always been to build something like that. I've gotten close a couple times, but it's not always easy.
They have those play D&D in a castle in like Scotland. And...
Yeah. Cher, you've got a thought. I can see it forming on your lips.
Okay. So have you guys ever heard of Paladin Woodworking?
No.
I just sent a link in the Discord. Pop it up on the screen. You guys are going to be so freaking amazed. This game room is so cool. And the D&D
send the link again. It didn't pop up. Your last one was the dice one.
Hold on. Okay. Hold on. You guys are going to flip out when you see this.
I wonder where she sent that in Discord. I'm a little scared where that went.
Wait, wrong one.
To your financial advisor.
Okay, hold on. I was like, why isn't it going? Okay, did you get it?
I did.
Sorry, Cheese, I sent it to you.
Oh, yeah. That's yeah, I've seen that one.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I've seen that one. It's a cool
one.
Get
the fuck out.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like that one.
It is so cool. It lights up. It can put terrain in the center. Oh, it's all Lord of the Rings theme. It's so awesome.
Oh,
look at that.
God.
I do like the idea of having the round table too.
Yeah.
I think that brings up another good point that we didn't necessarily immediately come up with it in all this, but with all the shared media and everybody talking about their dream rooms and what everyone's liking, the table, the shape of the table, the size of the table, the idea of the physicality of the table. I mean, square, round, hexagon.
Definitely. We've I think round or hexagon is the best.
I think so too. Yeah. What do you think, Cher?
For the table?
Yeah, if you're going to sit at a table, what would feel comfortable to you?
I guess rectangle, but doesn't Critical Role sort of have it like that too?
No, theirs is more a strangely shaped octagon.
Yeah,
it's a strange shape.
They've got mat at the center, and then they've got two
it
sides.
goes like around, right?
To be fair to them, they designed their table with the cameras in mind.
Yes,
they obviously build their environment to suit multiple purposes. I think
But
if you're
I
going,
agree with Jim. I think some form of round or hexagon where
Yeah.
everybody is facing each other.
yeah, I love that.
It's a little bit harder from a real estate standpoint sometimes, especially for the DM.
Yeah.
But I really think that it makes for a better inclusive environment when
Or
everybody's
Oh my
like a
God.
long table would be cool too, because then like you could just splay out your terrain, and then everybody could just like walk around and look at it.
yeah.
Like I
I
love
think-
my table for sure.
I
Like, my-
really want Sharon to become a DM. I think she'd be great.
That
at
table, Jim, that table is awesome. Let me ask you this: do you guys sit down or do you stand up and walk around?
mostly sit. Once in a while, we'll gap and just walk around, just sit because
Yeah.
we'll do like 12-hour sessions. So
Yeah.
it.
you gotta gap and stretch your legs and.
No, we do the same. We do like not 12. We do like 8 or 9.
What?
Are you people insane?
Excuse
Well,
me,
the
Jason.
group that no, not all of my game. This is just the group of my old high school buddies when we play, because we only get together like once every month and a half. So
He'll be in a swivel chair.
Yeah, around the gym.
Excellent.
Yeah.
you next.
And that problem player, you can just keep turning your chair. So
Right? So they're always behind you, and then they walk around. You turn your chair.
yeah.
It's terrible. Just
I'm
terrible.
watching you.
Yeah. You should probably get the hint, bucko.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think Sharon, what
We
do you
covered it all.
I think anybody have anything else?
I mean, I could go another 25 hours.
Well,
but
I know we could both
Yeah.
go another 25 hours, but
Well, Jim, you just like blew my mind with like the 12-hour session. I think that's like the longest I've ever heard D&D.
oh my god, when we were
No.
kids, that was every weekend. We would play from like 6 p.m. to like 5 in the morning.
Just
Yeah.
does anyone fall asleep? Like, do
Fuck
you
no.
guys?
Of course. Of course they do. That's why you have black markers for when you fall asleep
Oh my god!
and you write
Um,
on them.
Every year in November, we do a 24-hour D&D session. We'll
Oh.
stop for supper, like, so it's not technically 24 hours. It's more like 23, but yeah, every year.
Okay. Okay, I'm making you a promise. If you'll have me, not this year, but maybe next or the year after, I'm going to come up to you for that 24-hour session. That
Oh,
would
that'd be awesome.
That
freaking
is
amazing.
nuts.
That would
Oh,
be
wait.
amazing.
So, like, if you guys do like a long rest,
You actually have to sleep for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to play D&D as realistically as possible. If you wanna know that, you need to go upstairs and go to sleep for 8 hours and
Yeah.
come back when you're done.
I mean, there was a time that we got together Friday after school. We loaded up on Jolt Cola and Pizza Hut,
Oh my god.
and then we woke up Monday to go to school. So you'd start Friday night, you play till Monday morning. But
I'll
you
come
know,
at you like a spider monkey, Chip. I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
but what was funny is that we played a lot of different games. You know, we played Indiana Jones, and we played Gangbusters, and we played Top Secret, and we played D&D, and we played Space or Star Frontiers, and we used that whole 3-day period to like just have this really fun kind of 3-day marathon of playing all
Yeah.
these different
That's
games.
awesome. So,
I'm 51. I can't do that anymore. I'm old.
I
I'm
could
old
still
as
do
dirt.
Like 8, 9, 10 hours.
Oh
Depends
my
on
god,
the
how many times, Sharon, did we get to the end of a Grain Lands episode and I was like, can't we just go another hour or two?
that's what I'm saying. And oh my gosh. And everyone else is getting like the buffet of D&D, and I just get a fucking appetizer.
Oh my god, Brian, I demand that's on a shirt.
That
I want that
I
to be a
will-
shirt.
I will make it. Done. And it's going to be a quote.
I don't want no
Very
D&D
hot.
appetizer, and on the back, I want the buffet.
Tim, that 24-hour session, is that like an extended one shot, or is that just a 24-hour session of an existing campaign?
Well, I think you're bringing up a possible subject we can tackle for our next episode. Time management in your D&D game. I think that's, or in your game in general. I think time
that is a
management.
very good.
I think that's a really good
That's
subject
something that I
for another
personally
session.
struggle with. So
Yeah.
But Jim, so how does that 24-hour?
So it's different every year. It's usually like 2 1-shots and then our like normal campaign.
So
Okay.
by the
Ridiculous.
afternoon, it's Cher's like, God damn it, Jason, go away.
You have 12 inspiration dice. Go.
Yeah, we're getting pretty old too. It's like if I get a Mountain Dew in me, I'm all fired up.
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah, Mountain Dew.
See,
Man.
that's when you need to put especially Mountain Dew, because that disgusting acid, like in a bottle, like a potion. It's a potion of Mountain Dew.
And if you shake it, and if you shake it, it's like poison spray.
Ooh,
I would
got
imagine
a whole
Mountain Dew
bunch
is
of
like
new props coming up.
I would imagine Mountain Dew is like cloud kill.
Stinking cloud.
You definitely have the poison effect right now. You just had your 3rd liter of Mountain Dew. You've got the poison effect.
That's awesome. I love it.
Do
All right.
the do.
Do the do.
All right, I think it's time to roll.
Should we do rollies?
I think it's time
Close
to do
out?
rolls.
All right, here we go.
Right.
Okay, I didn't get a 2, but I got a 6. This
Hey,
die is
moving
going
up in the world.
in the toilet.
I got a 14.
13.
13. Sharon?
I got a 19. I
God
already did
damn
it.
it! She gets to
Maybe
do it again.
No. You know
That's
what? No,
3
no.
in a row.
The dice.
No!
What was that about unlucky dice or
I
players?
know, right?
That's lucky.
I know.
Sharon's lucky. It's
Yeah.
not the dice.
All right, check us
Dude.
out, Sharon.
I rolled 2 20s. The
That's
last 2
she did.
sessions.
She's
I know,
not
yeah.
And I
kidding.
rolled a
She
19.
did.
Wow.
And this Saturday, she's gonna roll like 5 5s in a row. I know it.
Don't jinx me. I'm serious.
Roll us out.
I'm already mad that we're only doing 3-hour sessions when we could have did it.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jim.
Well,
Jim, one of the things we like to do around here when we thank people, just saying. Just
All
saying.
right, Sharon, take us
Roll
out.
us out.
All right, thank you everybody so much for joining us on a new episode of RPG&Co's Lawfully Chaotic, with our special guest Epic Jim. You can always catch him at. Where can we find you, Jim?
At Epic Jim on Instagram.
Yeah, and you get to see all the fabulous stuff that he has in his epic dungeon. And as always, thank you, Jason and Brian. Where can we find you guys at?
You can find me at LinkedIn Tree. I'm on the Twitter space. I'm on the Instagram space, Discord, everything you need to know about us. You can find in our LinkedIn. We are live Monday, Tuesday, and Saturdays and Sundays over at TTRPG Academy and the D&D Club, where Sharon plays in one of my amazing campaigns, The Grain Lands.
And I am at linkter.e at /rpgandco.com.
Oh, boy.
I don't know
We
how to
almost
say
made it. We almost made it.
that. Linktree /rpgandco.com. Probably the easiest place. That's got all my links. Probably the easiest place to get me is on Instagram, RPG&Co. Yes.
So we're going to linger for the after chat. Sharon, sign us
Yep.
off.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. You could always catch me at Instagram at BarryBot, and you could also catch me at the D&D Club's Twitch channel, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time for the Graying Lands campaign, where I play as a druid Kalistar named Mayra. So be sure to go on and check us out and be... I need to work on with the catchphrase for this show, but be lawfully good, but stay chaotic in the heart. Thanks, everyone.
Well, I like
Love
that.
that.
Lawfully
Yeah.
minded, chaotic in the heart. How about that?
Good night, everybody. We're
All
going
right,
to linger,
good
but
night.
good night, everybody.
Thank you, Jim.